everybody! Woo! Don't want to break the palette before the video even gets started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm feeling very 90s today. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Violet Voss See You Later palette. Oof, what a gem we have here. I just love Violet Voss. Now this palette retails for $45 and you can get it on Violet Voss's website, and you can also find it on Sephora's website. Little fun fact for you. Now this is actually meant to be their summer palette, even though it just came out. But I think with like the whole COVID, all these summer releases got pushed way back. So it's a little late in the game, but you know what? I still think you can manage to wear this into the fall and heck, even into the winter. Now their last summer palette that came out, and I can't remember if this was last summer or the summer before, was their Flamingo palette, which just kind of looked like this. So this palette's just the same kind of format as this palette, just FYI. Okay, now let's show you the inside. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful palette, as you can see. You have a mixture of 20 eyeshadows and pressed pigments, and you get this ginormous mirror. Like, this is awesome. I mean, this is a pretty big palette. I mean, it's as big as my head, so it's not travel friendly, but you get a really good mirror in it, so, you know, gotta outweigh the pros and the cons. And like I said, this palette does retail for $45, which it's a little up there in price, but seeing as how you get 20 shadows in this palette, that's like what, a little over $2 a shadow. I think that is an extremely reasonable and fair price. And like I said, the palette looks like this. And right off the bat, what I noticed, which I thought was really interesting, you have more of your cool tones, like your greens, your blues, your purples in these first two rows. And then you have your warmer tones, like your orange, your red, your pinks, your browns, what have you, right here. So the palette is really divided up for you nicely. And I like that. When you have a palette this large, it can be kind of intimidating. You look at it and you're like, I don't really know where to begin. But if you divide it up into those two sections, like you cover up the cool tone part, you're left with this. And it makes it a lot more easier to kind of figure out what you want to do with your look. Did I say what you want to do with your look? I meant to say what you want to do with your look. So let's get started. I think you can guess by the blue shirt, the very bright blue shirt I have on today, what I kind of want to do. I'm going for the cool tone blue looks. I'm all about color on this channel. So we are just going to go for it. So even though I want to stick to this half of the palette, I am going to go in with this beach sand shade. I am going to go in with this beach sand shade and just put that all over the lid just to kind of give me a nice base to work off of. I actually wish this was a white shadow so those blue shadows just really pop. But, you know, I'm glad to have this shade because some palettes don't even have that. Now I gotta confess, I only played around just a little bit with their Flamingo palette, but I wasn't that impressed. However, like I said, it was released probably 2 years ago, I want to say. So their formula could have improved by then. I actually reviewed their Sakura Blossom palette, which I will link at the end of this video, so you can check out that review. And I like that palette quite a bit, so I'm willing to bet their formula probably did change. Okay. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this shade, but I think that's totally the brush I'm using. It's not the ideal brush I wanted to use, so, you know. First thing I'm going to do is take Wavy Baby, which is kind of a mint seafoam green color, and just throw that up into the crease. Ooh, yes. Do you guys see that pigmentation? Yes. I worry because sometimes you get patchy shadows. But nope. Ooh, look at that green. That green is coming out to play. Okay. this is a shadow. You don't want to overblend, but maybe you do if you're going for a softer green look. But if you're really looking for that vibrant green color, just be a little careful. I am taking Scuba Dive, which is this really pretty sort of periwinkle color. Okay, so, not impressed with this shade. Super sheer and a little bit patchy. Okay, yeah, that brush amps it up a little bit, but still, yeah, I'm not really feeling the pigmentation on this blue. Blue and purple can be really hard to master though, so, okay, not a fan of the blue shade, but you know what, I've seen worse for sure. That blue loses pigmentation real quick, Don't scare away the pigmentation. I gotta be careful. Okay, so now on my lid, I think I'm going to take this really pretty sea sparkle shade. Like, look at that. And you know what? I actually think I'm going to wet my brush. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with this one. So what I'm going to do is, when I have issues like this, what I love to do is take a wet sponge tip applicator and really pack it onto the lid. And I find that helps with color a lot. I wet my sponge tip applicator as well as multiple items around me. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, see, it just really brings the pigmentation to life. This is why I recommend using it. When you have a kind of shade like that just doesn't seem to work with the brush, bring in the sponge tip applicator and I'm telling you, you won't regret it. I know they get a bad rap, but honestly, I like them. I think it's kind of the equivalent as using your finger, but way more hygienic. Okay, so it definitely amped the color up a little bit, but it's still a sheer shade, okay? Like, this is something that maybe you have to build up a little bit. Yeah, so it takes a little bit to build it up, but once it's there, it's mostly there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go in and do my highlight shade. Now for my highlight, I like to do like a champagne color or a silvery color, and I like it to be metallic, not straight glitter. I'm not seeing anything like that in this palette, but you know me, I like to work with what I have, so we're gonna, you know, go outside the box a little bit and do this shade right here. What's this called? Aquamarine. But can we take a minute to talk about this shade below it? This, like, oh god, look at, on the camera it looks green, and then I shift it towards me and it's brown. I love duochrome shades. Let's go very light-handed. Okay, like very light-handed. So it's definitely green, it's definitely glittery. Like I said, I would have preferred maybe like a more silver shade in this case, but I like to work with what I have, so. Okay, so there's some fall, but there's not a lot. I'm just gonna skip the inner corner highlight because this brush is like too fat to get in there. And I'm just gonna take BRB and do under the lower lash line. Can we just take a minute to talk about how beautiful this mermaid tail color is? Like, let me show you. So it's a frosty lilac color, but it's got a sort of gold greenish shift to it. Oh, it is so pretty. Doing the swatches of this palette, safe to say, mermaid tail is my favorite color in the bunch. So gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Can't say anything to your shade, 'cause look at your shade. I should have like a little blurb at the end of the video that is like, Jessica's favorite color. And then you just see it. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'm going now. So overall, I think that you do get your money's worth for this palette just by how many shades there are. I mean, you can definitely get a lot of looks out of this palette as well. You can go for something blue like I did, or you can go for like a sunset kind of eye. So the choice is up to you. Now, is the quality the best for this price tag? Probably not. I've seen better from ABH, Too Faced, Urban Decay. So it's not the best of the high end, but it's not the worst either. I do think that if you're curious and checking out the Violet Voss brand, to go with their Sakura palette. I really like that a lot. Their Sugar Crystal palette was another one that was really good that I reviewed on this channel. So there you have it. There's my review. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm curious, I played around with the cool tone side of this palette, but do you guys want to see a look with the warmer side of this palette? Just give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you would like to see that, and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I like to talk about makeup a lot. And I also like to talk about clothes a lot. That's just what I do here on this channel. So if you're into that stuff like I am, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be out this week. Okay, bye.